Hi, I'm Ryan, your guide to the tech trail. In the previous 2 videos in this series, we've covered a number of topics that can help you to feel more confident when using a computer. And in this final video, we're going to look at 5 additional areas. So remember, one step at a time, let's get started. So let's begin by learning about the recycle bin. If we go into our trail folder, and then we right-click on our text file, like we learned in our last video, and then delete it. Now, that file is then sent to the recycle bin. So let's close this, left-click, then left-click on recycle bin twice. This file that we just deleted is here in the recycle bin. We have 2 choices. We can either restore it, or we can empty the recycle bin and delete it forever. So how would we restore it? Well, we have an option. We can right-click on the file, and then we can left-click restore, like we learned in our last video. Or if we have a number of files, we can left-click on restore all items right here. And that would put all deleted items back to where they originally were. Or if the recycle bin is full of items we just don't need anymore, we can simply click the empty recycle bin button, and that will permanently delete everything. So in this case, we're going to restore our file. Left click, and now our file is back in its folder. So now that we understand what the recycle bin does, let's go to the opposite corner of our desktop and learn about the system tray. And what is that? Well, essentially, it's a section of our taskbar that gives us access to other settings, notifications. It's very useful. Let's have a look at it. On your desktop, hover down to the lower right-hand corner, and here it is. Let's begin with the most obvious thing, and that's the date and the time. If we left-click that, here we can see a calendar for the current month. If our computer has any notifications we need to be aware of, they'll pop up here. But let's focus specifically on this icon to the left of the date and the time. So within the system tray, this is the Action Center. If we left-click that, in the Action Center, we can quickly adjust settings throughout our computer. So for instance, let's focus on just one, and that's the volume of the computer. Let's say our computer is just too loud. So to make it quieter, we can hover over this little circle here, left-click, and drag to the left. Now our computer is much quieter. The opposite is true too. If we left-click, slide it to the right, our computer will be much louder. And if we want to mute the entire computer, we can just left-click this button here to mute everything. Now these icons here are things that we're going to learn about more in the future, but it's good to keep in the back of your mind that within this Action Center, we can quickly adjust settings. Very useful. So now there's one more useful feature on the desktop that we have not covered yet. It's called snapping windows. It's much better than what it sounds like. So let's say that, for instance, you have your trail folder open, and it opens here, but you would really like to move this window over to the right for some reason or another. Well, this is how we do that. We go up here to this empty section of this bar, and this is called the title bar of the screen. So we left-click that and then hold it, and now we can drag it wherever we want on the desktop. But let's say that you wanted this screen to fill the right side of your desktop, and you wanted your Welcome to the Trail document to fill up the left side. Windows makes it easy to do that, and that's where snapping windows comes into play. So here's how it works. Drag your window vertically, and you see this bar that pops up on top? If we drag it until it touches that, now we see what are called snap layouts. Essentially, these are layouts that Microsoft has defined to where you can easily lay out your windows. So if we want this window on the right side, like this, all we have to do is drag it over and then let go of the left mouse button. All we have to do is open our document, left click twice, do the same thing, drag it up to Snap Layouts, and then put it on the left side. And there we go. But in these final two sections, we're going to look into an area of your computer that's very important, and that is your computer's settings. So how do we get there? Well, we can go down to our search bar, and we can type in settings. We can left click that. In future videos, we will take the settings and look deeper into it, but for now we're just going to focus on two areas. The first area is this section here under apps. If we left click that, let's say that you installed an app onto your computer or program and you would really like to uninstall it. How do we do that? We have a number of choices here, but we want to focus on the top one, installed apps. And it tells us this is where we can uninstall and manage apps on your PC. So we left click that. So now we have an entire list of all of the programs installed on this computer. So let's say we're looking for one in particular. Let's say it's that solitaire game that you installed last week. You just don't like it. In this box we can search for apps. So we click into that, start typing solitaire, and there it is. Solitaire and casual games. Okay, that's the one we want to uninstall. How do we do it? On the right side of this bar, these three dots gives us more options. If we left click that, there's uninstall. So we just left click uninstall. This app and its related info will be uninstalled. We're sure? We click uninstall. So let's look at one more section of the settings that's very important. Windows Update, down at the very bottom of the list. Let's left click that. Periodically, Microsoft will send out updates for your computer to ensure that it's safe, that it's reliable, that it performs well. How it does that is through Windows Update. So currently, we see here that we are up to date. There's no major updates waiting to be installed. We can check by hitting this button here. If we left click that, essentially what that does is it communicates with Microsoft servers to see, are there any updates available for this computer? And if it comes back with nothing and it still says you're up to date, then we're good to go. In an event where there is an update ready for this computer, then when you click that button, then it will automatically start installing for you, especially if it's a security update or something really important. It's also good to keep in mind that some updates are optional, like this one that says Cumulative Update Preview. This is more for IT professionals. And also too, sometimes these updates will require you to restart your computer and it will prompt you to do so. But now you've got a full understanding of how Windows Update works so that your computer can stay safe and secure. In this video, we've covered a number of very important topics. And throughout this entire video series, we've covered a number of points step by step in the hopes to help you feel more confident with using a computer. Because it all goes back to that very first step that we talked about. Have a learning mindset. Computers and technology, they can be stressful. But if we take one step at a time, eventually we become more and more comfortable with them, and then we can use them more in our daily life to support our family, for entertainment, or whatever else we need. So thank you for joining me in this video series. And please consider subscribing to join me on the trail as we go into other topics about computers and technology as a whole. I would love to have you there. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Ryan, your tech guide, and I'll see you on the trail.